I still remember the smell of charcoal and laughter floating through the summer air that day. It was supposed to be just another family barbecue, burgers on the grill, kids running around the backyard, and everyone pretending we were one big, happy family. But for me, it felt like walking into a battlefield I never asked to fight. Hi, I'm Emily. For as long as I can remember, I've been the quiet one in my family. The reliable sister who shows up early, helps set up, cleans up after everyone leaves, and never makes a scene. My older sister Lauren was always the star. Beautiful, loud, confident, the one who married a Navy SEAL and loved reminding everyone how perfect her life had become. That afternoon, the sun was shining, music was playing, and I was standing by the picnic table trying to enjoy myself. I had just come back from a long work trip, exhausted but happy to see everyone. Or at least, I thought I would be. Lauren was holding court as usual, wine glass in hand, telling stories that made everyone laugh. Then her eyes landed on me. She smiled that sweet but sharp smile I knew too well and said loud enough for the whole backyard to hear, "Oh, look, everyone! Emily's finally here. Still doing that boring little office job? Honey, when are you going to find a real life like the rest of us?" The laughter that followed felt like tiny knives. My cheeks burned. I forced a smile and tried to brush it off, but she wasn't done. She kept going, mocking my single status, my safe career, even the way I dressed that day. "Always so serious, Em. Lighten up. Not everyone can marry a hero, right?" I stood there, heart pounding, feeling smaller with every word. My parents chuckled awkwardly. Cousins looked away. No one stepped in. That moment shattered something inside me. The sister I had looked up to for years wasn't just teasing anymore. She was humiliating me in front of the entire family, and she was enjoying it. But what I didn't know that day was that someone else was listening very carefully. I tried to laugh it off at first. I told myself it was just Lauren being Lauren, the dramatic older sister who always needed the spotlight. But deep down, her words cut deeper than I wanted to admit. For years, I had supported her. When she was struggling in college, I helped her with assignments. When she was planning her wedding to Jake, the Navy SEAL, I spent weeks helping with everything while she stressed over flowers and seating charts. I was happy for her, truly. But somewhere along the way, my quiet strength started looking like weakness to her. After the mocking continued, I stepped away from the group and walked toward the edge of the yard, needing air. My hands were shaking. Tears stung my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not there, not in front of her. That's when I heard her voice again, louder this time, carrying across the lawn. "Seriously, though, Em still acts like she's in high school. No husband, no big adventures. Some people are just meant to stay in the background, I guess." More laughter. My chest tightened. The betrayal wasn't just the words, it was the fact that no one defended me, not even our parents. I felt completely alone, exposed, and broken in a place that was supposed to feel safe. I had always kept a big part of my life private. Years ago, before I settled into my current career, I had served in a very different world. A world most people in my family knew nothing about. It was intense, classified, and demanding. I had worked closely with special operations teams on support missions. That's where I earned my call sign, a name only a handful of people still used. I never bragged about it, never brought it up at family gatherings. It wasn't who I was anymore, or so I thought. But as I stood there trying to hold myself together, I noticed Jake, Lauren's husband, walking over from the grill. He had been quiet most of the afternoon, focused on flipping burgers and chatting with the guys. He was tall, broad-shouldered, the kind of man whose presence commanded respect without saying much. He stopped a few feet away and looked at me. Really looked at me. Then, in a low, calm voice that somehow cut through the noise, he asked, "Emily, did they just call you Shadow back in the day?" The entire backyard seemed to go silent. My heart stopped. Shadow. My old call sign. The one I earned during long nights supporting operations where silence and precision meant everything. Only a small circle of people from that chapter of my life knew it. I nodded slowly, my voice barely above a whisper. Yeah, that was me. Jake's expression changed in an instant. The easygoing brother-in-law disappeared. In his place stood the seasoned Navy SEAL who had seen and done things most people couldn't imagine. His jaw tightened. His eyes darkened with recognition and something that looked a lot like disappointment. But not at me. Lauren, still laughing a few feet away, hadn't noticed yet. She called out again, "What's going on over there? Emily telling more boring stories?" That's when everything shifted. Jake turned toward his wife. His voice was steady, deep, and carried the kind of authority that made the air feel heavier. "Lauren, come here, now." She walked over, still smiling, wine glass in hand, completely unaware. "What's up, babe?" He looked at her, then at me, then back at her. The whole family had gone quiet, sensing the sudden change in energy. "I just heard your sister's call sign," Jake said slowly. "Shadow. You know what that means?" Lauren blinked, confused. "Call sign? What are you talking about?" Jake didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "It means your sister spent years doing work that supported guys like me in places you'll never understand. Places where one mistake could cost lives. She didn't brag about it. She didn't need to. And here you are, mocking her in front of everyone like she's nothing." Lauren's face went pale. The smile faded fast. She tried to laugh it off. "Oh, come on, Jake, I was just joking." "No," he cut in firmly, his tone leaving no room for argument. "You weren't joking. You were tearing her down, and I won't stand by and watch that. Not in my house. Not to family." He looked straight at her and said the words that changed everything. "Apologize. Now." The backyard was dead silent. You could hear the distant sound of kids playing, but around us, time seemed to freeze. Lauren's eyes darted around. Everyone was watching. Her perfect image was cracking right there in front of the family she loved impressing. Her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. For the first time in years, she had no clever comeback. She turned to me, voice shaky. "Emily, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't mean it like that." But I could see it in her eyes, the realization that she had crossed a line she couldn't uncross. The sister she had belittled for so long had a depth and strength she had never bothered to see. Jake placed a gentle hand on my shoulder and gave me a small nod of respect. In that moment, I felt seen. Not as the quiet, boring sister, but as someone worthy of honor. I didn't yell. I didn't need to throw my past in anyone's face. The truth had done the work for me. Later that evening, as the barbecue quietly wound down, Lauren avoided eye contact. The laughter felt forced. The spotlight she once craved now felt uncomfortable. As for me, I drove home that night with a strange sense of peace. The pain was still there, but it no longer controlled me. I realized I had been carrying unnecessary shame for simply being who I was, steady, strong, and silent when it mattered. Family can hurt us the deepest because we expect them to protect us the most. But sometimes, the ones who are supposed to lift us up are the ones who try to keep us small. When that happens, the real strength isn't in fighting back with anger. It's in standing tall in your truth and letting the right people recognize your worth. I no longer hide my story, and I no longer shrink myself to make others comfortable. If you've ever been mocked or belittled by someone who was supposed to love you, remember this. Your value isn't defined by their words. Sometimes, all it takes is one person hearing your silent strength for everything to change. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, share your own experience in the comments. And remember, quiet strength has a voice. It just waits for the right moment to be heard.